So here's the video on how to fix those long videos. We're going to be using a program called After Effects, Premiere Pro. It's a video editing software. Basically what we're going to be doing is importing the long clips, cutting out the areas that we don't want, and then stitching them back together if need be, and then exporting out so that we can bring them into After Effects and do a normal video kind of thing, So basically start a new project, give it whatever name. Hit OK. Those defaults should be fine. For the sequence presets, open up the AVCHD folder inside of that 1080p folder and choose the AVCHD 1080p 24 preset and hit OK. So this is after Premiere. It's pretty similar to After Effects. They're both Adobe products, so they work pretty much the same way. Go to File, Import, and choose your files. I'm just gonna choose random guys here. Choose Open. That'll bring them into your project here. We're gonna drop those into our sequence timeline, just like we do in After Effects. Doesn't matter really which one you choose to go first. Just choose one, drop it into the video 1 slot there, and then grab the other one, put it into the video 2 slot. So they're basically on top of each other. We're now gonna have to next we have to sync them up, just like we do in After Effects. You won't have to do it later in After Effects. You just have to do it the one time in Premiere, and then when you bring them into After Effects, they'll already be synced up, so you don't have to worry about that. Basically, what we're going to do is find the those two, the hand waving thing. The way we do it in this program is by uninskinning it. Basically, with this, the video 2 layer, make sure it's set to opacity. Grab this yellow line and drop it down to around 50%. Now you can see we can see both videos kind of showing through each other right here. You only have to change it on the top one. So now what I'm gonna do is kind of scrub through this. Look and see if I can tell where the handshakes are. And this is, you can tell that this sequence, the timeline here is, we've got a minute here, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Basically, that's way too big. So just like in After Effects, we can zoom in on the timeline here, get more resolution out of it. I'm gonna bring this into about there, 15 seconds. That's usually when that stuff happens by. So I'm gonna look for the 2 hand waves. There's 1. There's 2. So I'm gonna come back here to the second hand wave. Wait for it to come down to about there. Now what I'm going to do is I want to mark this place in time, basically, so I can go back to it later. So I go to Marker, Sequence Marker, Set. Now you can see in the timeline it put this little marker, I guess you'd say. I think you can set it over here too. Yeah, you just click that little button there and it will do the same thing. So that we know we can always come back to that spot, and that's where that hand movement is. So let's go back till we see the other hand move. Which is about right about there, I think. I'll set another marker just so I can reference it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to take this opacity, bring it back up. So I know that the first hand wave is in the top video. So what I'm going to do is take this, grab it, and I'm sliding it over to about where that marker is in the timeline. So that we know that if I drop this back down to about 50%, those hand waves are pretty close. You can refine it even more by zooming in on it, coming through, and you can just drag it, to the left and right. You can go one frame at a time, but that looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to zoom back out the timeline. You can see that was the amount of time that we offset the videos to get the hand waves to match up. So then basically at this point what you're going to do is, you know that they're synced up. Zoom out the timeline so you can see the whole thing, and then we're going to come, slide your the playhead over to wherever it is that the bad footage is that we want to get rid of. So let's say the bad footage is like right here. And let's say this was a video that that ran long. You forgot to shut off the camera. So in that case, what we're going to be doing is chopping off the second half of the video. We don't need that. So come over here, choose the razor tool, and just click on the red line for both of the videos. As long as you're close to the red line, it'll do it right on the red line. That cut them, so you choose the select tool, highlight it and delete, highlight it and delete, and that's it. So you've got your nice sequence that is the right length and everything like that. Undo those. So let's say instead that it was a video where they got stuck on the track for whatever reason. It had a red flag or something. You do the same thing. You'd grab the razor tool, mark the beginning of the bad stuff, move your playhead over to the end of the bad stuff, cut again. Now when you grab the select tool, you delete the middle part of it, get the boring stuff out of there, highlight them both, and slide it on over. So what that's going to do is basically just do a cut right there from the end of the first good stuff to the beginning of the second good stuff. And that's pretty much it. To export them, you can go File, Export Media. Well, actually let me cancel that. What you want to do is choose one of the videos first, because you can't export both of them at the same time. So we'll ramp up the opacity back to 100% here. So let's export video 1 first. So you turn off video 2, turn off audio 2. That's important. So that this little eyeball icon and the little speaker icon is only on video 1 channel. And you come up here, go to File, Export Media. The default settings I think will work fine. I don't know that I made any changes to this, but what you're looking for is you want it to be H264 here. Sequence name, you want to give it whatever the customer's name is. and then whatever camera it is. So if it's a driver or whatever, save it, and then yes. These settings should be good. Yeah, these settings are good. I don't know if you'll need to change these, but these are good settings for bit rates, the target and maximum. And then you can do one of two things. You could either hit export, at which point it'll just start to render, and you just wait it out, and when it's done, it's done. Or you can queue it, which if you click that, it opens up as what's called the media encoder, where you can put a number of them, basically queue them up and then render it all in one go. Doesn't really matter which way you do it, so the results are the same. But so let's say we're doing the encoder. You can see it exported sequence one. So we're going to go back into here, into Premiere. Turn off video 1 and audio 1. Turn on video 2. Turn on audio 2. Come back, go to File, Export Media. Settings should be the same except for the output name. You would choose whatever the opposite of what you just did was. Thank you. So you can see now we've got two. Oh, see, I named that the same name, but it doesn't matter. We've now got two sequences basically ready to render, and when you're ready to go, you just hit the play button up here, and it'll start rendering. That's pretty much it. Just make sure when you export the media and you choose the destination, just make sure that they're rendering out to somewhere that you know where it's going. Rendered out into like the render temp folder or something like that, or somewhere that you'll know where to look for it, and give it a name that you'll know to look for. And then that's pretty much it. Once they're done rendering, you can then just take those files, import them into After Effects, and process them like normal. Really, the only difference is that at that point, then you don't have to sync them up in After Effects because you already did it in Premiere. So yeah, that should do it. And if you have any questions, give me a call. See you later. Bye.